One of the most critical steps in recovery is step 4, taking a fearless moral inventory. It is one of those steps that often block people from progressing in their journey to freedom, but it doesn't have to be that way. I know from personal experience that step 4 was a wall that I had to face head-on and overcome to progress in my own recovery journey. But there was something about the very title of step 4 that stopped me in my tracks, making a fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And let me tell you, few lines have scared me more, because up until that point, I was pretty good at pointing fingers. I quickly wrote the details of how everybody else had wronged me, abandoned me, judged me, and hurt me. But when it came to turning that flashlight inward, my knees buckled. What harm had I done to others? So what is step 4 really about? It's not just a list of how others have harmed you. It's an honest, soul-bearing look at both the harms done to you and the harms you've caused. It's about owning your part, even when others were wrong, even when circumstances were cruel, even when you were just trying to survive. I remember sitting at my kitchen table, pen trembling in my hand, asking myself, how far back do I go? How much do I have to dig up? The answer I found, and what sponsors and old-timers told me, was this: go back as far as you can remember. Childhood, adolescence, early adulthood. The point isn't to write a novel or drown yourself in shame. The point is to uncover the patterns, the resentments, the fears, the selfishness, the dishonesty, the wounds that shaped how you showed up in the world. You don't need every gory detail of every fight or betrayal, but you do need enough to see the truth of your story. For example, when I looked at my resentments, I didn't just write my dad. I wrote why. What were the details? What was their part? What was my part? How did I react? I wrote what I felt, what I feared, what it cost me, and where I had responded with my own selfishness or anger. When I wrote about relationships, I included not just how they hurt me, but where I had lied, manipulated, or withdrawn. The real miracle of step 4 is that it's not just a confessional booth, it's a map. Because here's what they don't tell you when you start. You're going to use this inventory again and again later in your recovery. What comes next after step 4? Step 5, where you share it with someone safe, typically your sponsor. If you don't have a sponsor, now is the time to find one. Someone who has been down the journey of recovery, who has similar experiences and addictions, someone you look up to and trust, someone who can listen and provide solid guidance on how to stay on the path of recovery. After you've shared your inventory with your sponsor, it's time to move on, and steps 6 and 7 are where you become ready to let go of your defects. Once you've let go of those defects, it's time to move into step 8, where you make amends. Amends aren't where you tell people that you forgive them, because certain actions do not warrant forgiveness. But in those situations, you're letting go of your side of the hurt so that you can move forward in freedom. But we're not done with taking our inventory. In step 10, when you keep taking daily inventory, dealing with today's issues today, and not letting them fester and turn into a cancer that derails your recovery, and steps 11 and 12, where you continue your walk in recovery and the freedom that it brings. But let's talk about step 4, because a lot of people try to jump over this step. And for many of us, step 4 is the most important step in our progression towards freedom. Without step 4, we're flying blind. We keep circling the same shame, fear, and resentment, never seeing how they tie together. Step 4 gives us the gift of clarity, and only from that clarity can we start to heal. But here's the truth. It's messy and it's painful. There were days I slammed my notebook shut and said, I'm done. So many people throw in the towel at step 4 and step out of recovery and back into their addictions. Don't quit. You're one step away from seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and your recovery journey to freedom. And then there were days when, through the tears, I found something close to peace. A flicker of compassion for the person I was and the person I was becoming. If you're about to take step 4, let me tell you, you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it honest. Find someone you trust, a sponsor, a mentor, to guide you through. Don't do it in isolation. That's where the dark thoughts grow. And please remember, you're not doing this inventory to punish yourself. You're doing it to free yourself. Because what we don't face will own us. And what we face, we can heal. Thank you for spending time with us today. Help us spread the message of hope that comes from recovery by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. We appreciate your support. Visit us at thatrecoverylife.com for all of your recovery gifts and clothing needs.